Hello guys, what's going on? It's IcyZinHD and welcome back to another video. As you can see today, I'm in Throne and Liberty. I've been streaming it a shit ton over on Twitch. Links down in the description if you wanna come hang with us. I'm streaming almost daily, some PvP, some grinding, and we're doing a lot of giveaways through allkeyshop.com. Link down in the description so you can join our most recent giveaway and come hang around in the stream to see the winners and get notified when the next giveaways are live. So, the topic of this video, in case you haven't noticed from the title and thumbnail, is about the biggest problem that Throne and Liberty has that ties in the greatest pay-to-win mechanic that I've seen in MMOs. Just to clarify, this is a problem in my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me, I would love to see your opinion and also your suggestions on how to combat it down in the comments if you agree with me. If you disagree with me, likewise, leave a comment down below, let me know. So, let me get started and explain to you what the problem is. To do that, we need to go to the dungeon page. So, these are the dungeons that Throne and Liberty has at the moment. It has some low-level dungeons, level 20, level 30 and level 40, that you could do while leveling up your character to get some gear. I personally skip them because leveling goes so much faster following the main quest line that by the time I would even finish the dungeon and get that gear, I could have just gotten more levels and hit 50. And then you have these super endgame dungeons. You also have the secret dungeons, the Tadal Tower and Gate of Infinity, which is a ranking system, but these are not an issue at the moment. The issue is right here. Yes, I know we have the guild raids as well, we have the open world raids, conflict or peace, blah blah blah. Again, they don't really matter right now, the issue is right here in the Coop Dungeon. And specifically with these 6 dungeons over here. So the way dungeons work in Throne and Liberty is you go here in the dungeon page, or you can do it through another menu, doesn't matter. You go here, you're gonna click enter. And if you do that, you're gonna start teleporting to the dungeon. I'm cancelling it, no point. You can solo it, or you can go with your friends, or you can click party matchmaking or party board. Party board is the LFG tool from World of Warcraft. You can find the groups, you can request to join them. If they accept you, you go play. Or the party matchmaking, which you select your role, click request matchmaking. I double click by accident. Oh, it insta popped. Fuck. I'm sorry guys, I'm not gonna do this. That's a beast. That's a dungeon I've been grinding for a few days. Thankfully, I'm getting a pop very frequently on this one. But the problem arises with the queue times, first of all. Because the way the game is designed, playing a tank is not really recommended. Unless you are reaching super endgame content in PvP and you have the toppest of the top gear, playing a tank solo especially is gonna be a massive pain in the ass. So a lot of people skipped it, a lot of people started it and switched classes halfway through leveling or whatever. So we have a shortage of tanks in the game. Granted, I main a tank in every other MMO except from Throne and Liberty and Arcades. I know tanks are always a minority in MMOs. It's nothing new, but it's especially emphasized as a problem in this one because tanking is so horribly made. Same with healing, but healing is a bit more entertaining as gameplay, so a bit more people play it. Again, that's how I personally see it, but the facts are there. There are not enough tanks, there are a bit more healers. So the queue timers are long as hell. The problem though doesn't just come from the fact that tanking and healing are, rare classes, that tanking is bad in this game, so many people avoid it. The problem arises when you look up here. That's the dimensional contract token, and that's your dungeon currency. Here on the side you can see what can drop from this specific dungeon, Death's Abyss. Then next dungeon has its own drops, etc, etc, etc. And other than the crafting mats pretty much and the very basic drops on the top, they don't really have the same drops. To acquire any of these drops, you need to spend these coins. So you load into the dungeon, you go through, you kill the ads, you kill the first mini-boss, he's gonna drop you some crafting mats for free. Second mini-boss, third mini-boss, how many they might have. You go to the last boss, you kill the boss, you get some basic crafting mats dropped, and then you spend 300 of these tokens up here, as you can see down here. You pay 300 of them to open the box in the end. And then the box has a chance to contain a bunch of these items. Usually the top row is guaranteed, and then you have a chance to obtain one of the equipment drops and some crafting mats, etc, etc. Plus it drops 4 of these souls per boss. Each boss has its own soul coin, soul shard, whatever you want to call it, and they drop 4 every dungeon. Now, before I continue, you need to kill each boss 5 times to collect 20 of their soul shards. So you need to kill all these 6 bosses 5 times each, since they drop their soul 4 times every run. You need to kill them all 5 times each to get yourself 20 of its tokens, then make them into 2 salvation salvation tokens so you can get a big crate and choose a accessory, armor piece or weapon out of it. So yes, if you don't get the amazing drops you want from the dungeon, the soul coin, it's kind of a pity reward, right? You still collect it, do 5 kills on every boss, you can craft yourself one piece that you might not be getting. The problem arises when you realize that the game recharges 900 of those tokens for you, which means 3 dungeon runs. You're being time gated, gate kept, whatever you wanna call it, but the game itself. Can't really call it a mechanic, it's just horrible game design. You should not be gating how many dungeons people can run. If I wanna run more of them, if I wanna put the effort in, I should not be gate kept from doing that. Instead, they need to balance the rewards, which is also tied in with my second reason of dungeons being problematic. The fact that some dungeons, this is just gonna be an example by the way for this specific dungeon, and the classes I'm going to mention, don't look into the details, it applies to all of them. Some dungeons are gonna have amazing drops from tanks, so let's say this dungeon has amazing drops from tanks, but horrible drops for healers. So a healer is gonna avoid this dungeon and go do this dungeon that has amazing drops for healers, but this one drops nothing for tanks, so tanks are gonna skip this one. So you can see how this is a problem. Some dungeons are gonna have a plethora of tanks queuing for them without any healers and without any mage DPS, for example, and then the other dungeon is gonna have a lot of healers and a lot of melee DPSs without any tanks or archers, etc, etc, etc. They really need to balance the loot, they really need to make it so you get something super useful out of every dungeon run you do, because your dungeon runs are extremely precious considering you're extremely gated. If I'm limited to being able to do 3 dungeons today, I'm not gonna spend my very precious 3 runs on a dungeon that's not gonna drop me anything. Granted, I'm just a DPS, nobody cares, but if every tank thinks like that, you're only gonna have tanks running this dungeon that has the amazing tank drops. Again, just an example about this. It do be dropping some nice tank drops though anyways. My point is, they really need to balance the loot, but they also need to balance this currency up here. The thing is, if you're wondering why they have that currency, and this ties to everything, is not to stop people from getting the best loot, is not to stop people from getting super geared in an afternoon and then never logging on again. No, it's so they don't crash the lucent prices on the auction house, so they can make a lot of money from you buying lucent. Because the thing is, you spend your 300 coins, you roll your chest in the end. Out of this specific dungeon, I needed this bow. I wanted this bow, I finally got it. I got this bow after killing this boss 6 times. On the character I'm playing on at the moment, I have way more kills on the Quirius on the other character. I ran this boss 6 times. The 6th time, my drop was the bow I wanted. The 5 previous runs, I got some blues, I got the helmet, I got the gloves, I got the top. Now, the top, I can't remember what trait it was, I have a screenshot somewhere, I might be having it on the screen at the moment. The top had a pretty good trait that was selling on the auction house for a pretty good amount of lucent. I've got this shirt dropped, I believe it was this shirt, might have been a different one. Anyways, it was a purple shirt from the dungeon that had a good trait. List the trait on the auction house, make a couple of hundred lucent. I can spend that lucent to buy myself the premium pass, I can spend that lucent to buy traits for my gear. Overall, I'm skipping this part where I get my credit card out to buy lucent. Hence why they have this token system, why they're blocking you from running dungeons all day long, because if you did, then you'd be spamming the traits on the auction house. So instead of selling the trait for this for 400 gold, you would be selling on the auction house for 50 gold. Lucent, my apologies. So instead of you having to swipe 20 bucks to get lucent to stack the traits that you want, you would have swiped 5 bucks, 10 bucks, or just grind for an hour to get the lucent you need. Hence, in my opinion at least, why this absolutely horrible game mechanic exists in this game. Now, personally, I don't believe they will change it. I'm 99% sure that they're gonna leave it exactly like this. They're not gonna change it the tiniest bit because they don't really give a fuck about the player base. They just want to keep, you know, seeing the money coming in. We know how Amazon is. We've seen it with New World, we've seen it with Lost Ark. If, though, they actually want to change that, they want to consider, you know, the player experience and how the players spend their time making their players feel valued, my personal suggestion would be keep the currency on. Keep it so you get 900 a day. Either lower the amount you spend per crate to maybe 90, so you can do 10 runs, maybe 50, or limit it so you only spend currency when you get a purple drop. And all obviously switch this, instead of getting 4 soul shards per boss, switch it to getting 1. So instead of having to do its boss 5 times, you have to do its boss 20 times. So you can keep spamming the dungeons over and over to get the top gear. Yes, it's gonna be annoyingly grindy, but you know, you kind of have to combat getting the top gear instantly having nothing to do. But yeah, that's my personal suggestion. Change how much currency you spend per box, or make it only yoink currency out of your wallet once you get a purple drop. So make it able to keep running the dungeon, keep getting the blue drops, keep getting all the shit, because at the moment, again, you can't even loot the chest in the end if you don't spend the currency. So give players some drops, give players a reason to log on the dungeon, and on top of that, kind of balance the loot around. Make sure that the tank has a reason to go to this dungeon, a mage, an archer, a melee, and a healer also have a reason to come to this dungeon. In the end of the day, that's my personal suggestion. That's the only fix I can possibly see. I don't think they will ever remove this. I hope they change the values so you can actually do more runs per day and give players a reason to actually do the dungeons. They're actually entertaining, which surprised me. I did not expect to enjoy the PvE aspect of this game, but it's actually pretty fun. With that said, I would love to hear your opinion down in the comments. If you disagree with me, feel free to tell me why. If you agree with me and you have better suggestions than my solutions, again, please share them. Thank you for watching so far. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch. I'm streaming this almost daily. Don't forget to join the giveaway we have running with allkeyshop.com. The more of you that join, the better giveaways I can do. Link down in the description as well. Thank you for watching again. See you in the next one. Yo, this is editing Icy. While editing, I realized I've been only complaining about the game throughout the video. So just to make it clear, I've really been enjoying it. Every aspect of it so far has been very entertaining to do and experience. PvP, PvE, all of it. So if you haven't tried it already, download it. It's free. Thanks for watching. Bye.